I'll be in my bedroom, making no noise and pretending that I don't exist.
The story of Harry Potter does not simply exist in a monolithic sense. Instead, it's rich in hidden meanings, knowingly or unknowingly, and both good or bad. And even though the faults in the series are more obvious, and in some cases more harmful, as seen with representation of being seen as a creature or beast, or completely disregarding someone's rich heritage and culture, yes, I'm upset about how She Who Will Not Be Named wrote and characterized Cho and the Patil twins. There is, in fact, a deeper meaning behind the story overall, and the characters within the Wizarding world. A hidden story within Harry Potter, the struggle with mental illness and trauma.
Now!
Harry grows up in a household devoid of love and being ostracized by his Aunt Petunia, Uncle Vernon, and Cousin Dudley. The Dursleys have Harry placed in their care immediately following the death of Harry's parents, James and Lily Potter, after being murdered by Lord Voldemort during the First Wizarding War. Growing up in a Muggle household instead of Harry's arguably natural environment of magic, Harry is treated as second class. He must cook meals, clean the house, receive no affection, no birthday presents. He's stuck with Dudley's hand-me-down clothes that are far too big for him, and for the first 11 years of his life, he's subjected to live in the cupboard under the stairs. Even as Harry begins character development each year after attending Hogwarts and coming back, he has to revert back to a state of constant watchfulness and be on his guard at all times. This is all done for the sake of self-preservation. In Chamber of Secrets, the second the other students find out Harry is a Parseltongue, inherited by Lord Voldemort when a piece of his soul was placed inside Harry, everyone begins to blame Harry for the petrification, which is, instead, being led by the soul of Tom Riddle, Lord Voldemort, and the basilisk beneath the castle. In Goblet of Fire, everyone turns on Harry because they think he wants more fame and glory than is already associated with his name by winning the Triwizard Tournament at an age too young to compete.
I didn't put my name in that cup.
Did you put your name into the Goblet of Fire, Harry? Dumbledore asked calmly.
Harry!
I protest!
Harry, you put your name in the Goblet of Fire.
No, sir.
Yeah.
In Order of the Phoenix, Harry's aggression begins to take hold of his characterization, cutting him off from friends until realizing he needs them to carry on. He can't get there alone, but recognizes he has to face the end alone, as he does in Deathly Hallows.
Guess you should read the Prophet then, like your stupid mother. It'll tell you everything you need to know.
Don't you dare talk to my mother like
I'll have
that.
a go at anyone that calls me a liar.
That is all just to say, of course, that from a mental health perspective, Harry Potter is one of the most traumatized and self-resilient fictional characters in literary and film history. A young boy, who lost everything he had before he could cherish it, was trapped in an endless cycle of emotional and physical abuse for 11 years straight, and every summer until the year he was expected to defeat Voldemort once and for all. Harry is doubted for his authenticity at the place he found comfort, constantly lost adults he looked up to, or was failed by them completely. With this amount of high level of expectation, the Wizarding world assumed Harry would assume when he came back, grieving constantly for his parents, friends, mentors, trying to manage a wizarding education, and having the pressure of solving adult problems as a child makes one wonder, how did Harry stay so strong? I've mentioned resiliency earlier, but the positive psychology to study Harry with goes much more beyond that. Harry seeks meaning and uses his strengths to benefit everyone, giving him what seems a meaningful life, even if he feels stuck and trapped in the narrative. Harry also checks off 5 of the 6 overarching values of positive psychology: wisdom and knowledge, courage, humanity, justice, and transcendence, more often than not. Due to a mix of this trauma and his general jealousy and a character flaw we see throughout the series be something that makes him not completely good, and therefore more complex in his heroism, Harry is slow to forgive at times, and quick to turn to anger, seen through his frustration at the Dursleys' house when he becomes a victim of their cycle of violence, or when he turns on someone he considered a friend as a way to protect himself. This makes temperance, the last pillar of positive psychology, one that Harry is simply not adept to having. These traumas relate to another theory of positive psychology, blocks to happiness. In Harry, we see this in competition.
One's at the ready.
Scared, Potter.
You wish.
Social comparison, to some extent, perceiving he doesn't have control, and too much overanalysis of himself. His own blocks to happiness within a model of positive psychology, or the spanning general trauma he carries with him throughout the series, he has so many personal characteristics that speckle his life with enough hope that one day the world they live in would be better. Harry advocated enough for himself that did not, in turn, take him to a place that was far darker. In some ways, it could have been easier to become friends with Draco, become a Death Eater, and not kill Voldemort. But through the tactics Harry used to keep himself and others safe, to fight in the face of adversity, to stand up for his friends, teachers, and nearly everyone he met, Harry was able to stay alive and keep fighting even when he had nothing left in him. I think this is a personal testament to people who have had similar traumatic childhoods and a high level of expectation from the people around them.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I've been beaten loads of times.
Harry stands for self-resiliency and advocates for readers who can translate these problems and roadblocks into their own lives. Harry teaches us that even though it can be scary and uncomfortable to ask for help when you're so used to fighting for yourself, for your own preservation, it's okay. It's okay to break your own cycles found in yourself or question the cycles of the people around you, like the abuse cycle in the Dursleys' home. It's okay to not have all the answers, to ask questions, to keep fighting even if you're not sure it's worth it anymore or exactly what you're fighting for. As Sirius told Harry and the Order of the Phoenix, we've all got both light and dark inside us. What matters is the part we choose to act on. That's who we really are.